So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self Development with Tactics podcast, and yet again, a bit of a different one. Since the past few days, I've had enough to do to decide to only do some shorts on YouTube / a bit of talking on the podcast, which was the equivalent topic wise, but in terms of length on the podcast, it was a bit longer. I've been going through Seth's blog again, the blog by Seth Godin, multi-best-selling author, maybe New York Times best-selling author, I'm not quite sure, but best-selling author and marketing quote-unquote guru. Very interesting personality, very interesting thoughts, and also very useful thoughts. Every single time when I'm going through his writings, I do feel differently than before, and I think this certainly is what he's trying to achieve, and this certainly is also maybe something that others, you, me, and I could try to achieve, which is also a bit what I'm going to talk about. I've written something down, a few points that I want to pick on, very interesting ones. First one being, how can I help, as a question, like what can I do, how can I help? Of course, we might spend quite a ton of time thinking about this question, thinking about like the options that we are having. Just need something to. The options that we're having, the possibilities that we're having, whether it is in terms of time, whether it is in terms of money, whatever it might be about. We all can help, and most often it is about trying to see what we can do and trying to see whether it works or not. And the only thing we quite can do is trying. Of course, I can ponder around, I can theoretically just go through the situation and then kind of make sure whether this makes sense, is worthwhile or whatever, but you cannot be 100% sure unless you try to do whatever you're doing and then see what things look like, and maybe then alter your decision and alter whatever you're trying to do and whatever you're willing to achieve, the methods of your goal or the way you want to achieve a goal. Something that might be part of that is, and this is one of 5 things that he has written down as a quote, 5 things that I think it was something along the lines of, or quite paraphrased, a lot of people think and a lot of people believe in. Quote, I don't believe that I am the kind of person who can do this, unquote. I do also believe that a lot of people think that way, that somebody might be able to do what I'm willing to do and might be able to do what I have sought out to do, but this is not me. It's somebody else. It's not me. It might be quite reasonable also to some degree to not choose oneself, but in the end, why would I choose anybody else or anyone else? I have a clear goal in mind. I have a clear thing in my mind in terms of something that I want to help with, a change that I'm willing to make, a contribution that I'm willing to make, and I can just try once again. I may not necessarily be the correct or the right person at this point of time, but this can change. Why shouldn't it? So I should try. I should try to make this contribution that I'm trying to make. I should try to create this change that I'm willing to see in the world. When I'm not doing it, even though I believe that I'm not this kind of person that might be able to achieve that, I can at least try and change what I'm willing to see to be changed. which may indeed be might be what tons of people have in mind. I want this to change. I want that to change. Um, I want to see a difference. But then in the end, it boils down to, okay, I might not be the right person. I might not be the right kind of person. I'm not suitable for this. Whatever, those doubts that we're all having, and it is okay to have them. But what about just trying? I may not be the right person. I may not be the right kind of person. I may not. I don't really know. It's about knowing here. So what about trying, and what about then seeing whether this is the case or is not the case? Might be the case, might also not be the case. Depends on things, depends on also the situation. Sometimes it's about trying, sometimes it's about doing the exact same thing multiple times and then kind of figure out the right way for oneself. But I don't believe that. I think trying is always going to be a good decision, whatever it might be about. Well, not necessarily whatever, but in terms of this context. Another thought, this is kind of the third one as I'm seeing, even though it was one on the left, one on the right, written down. So two separate things, but they are kind of related. The second one, change is inevitable, so we should rather use it. This was a blog post around digital processing in terms of images, having an image and then being able to change it, mix it in terms of the style, and then Seth Godin saying something along the lines of, okay, some artists have a style and some artists don't have a style. He didn't clearly say that one should have a style. I wouldn't necessarily say so either. I mean, there are multiple ways that I like doing things, even though I guess that I'm having some sort of a style though. Because in the end we all have, we like certain things. I like certain aesthetics and you like certain aesthetics, and the other person across the room likes certain aesthetics. And we try to achieve them. And when we have achieved them, we like the thing that we've made, the art, the music, the whatever it might be. But we can use this change. We can use this change to create even better art, to be even more productive, to be faster, to create something new, to check boundaries. On one hand, on the other hand, I could also be like, okay, at this point, everyone can do my art. So why should I do this? Because everyone can do it. And I think at first glance it might seem that way. It might seem that, okay, when I'm generating this picture or that picture, it's just like the same as this artist's one. But at some point, or to some point, yes, this is the case. In terms of digital things, accuracy isn't on point yet. It is quite okay, it is quite cool, but still there's a pretty big difference between having something auto-generated and having something that an artist made. I think it is a lot clearer most often. In terms of looks, might be aesthetic, both might be very aesthetic, but there are going to be artifacts, there are going to be certain things that just do not make sense. And so an artist is probably able to make things a bit clearer in some way compared to the machine. On the other hand, as I'm thinking about it, well, of course, digital art, digital things can be made, generated. But what about physical things and or digital to physical transition? Having a concept, on the other hand, as well. I mean, a picture is a picture, but a picture is just as useful as a picture can be. I can just use it for certain ways. I can print it if the quality is good enough. If it isn't, it's a bit of a fuck up. But anyway, digital change in any way of life, in any area of life actually, can be used. And it can also crush one. But I think in the end we choose what it does to us. We choose what this change is doing to us, whether it is something good or whether it is something bad. The last one, sometimes the gates need keeping, and this is a very interesting one because it's not what the period of time that we all are in at this point is all about. We all can publish music, we all can publish this ebook, we all can publish whatever we want to publish. We all have access to these services, to the distribution, whatever. We all can do that. But to some degree, some things just need gatekeeping. In terms of studies, for example, as Seth Godin also pointed out, there are some really shitty studies published by some person that is not peer-reviewed, that was just published, not in a journal, not in wherever. Is it a good study? No, it fucking isn't. And this is the point. There is a reason why there is gatekeeping in the scientific space, to ensure that the quality is as good as it can be or as good as it should be. In terms of music, well, of course, I can publish some shit and nobody's going to listen to it. This is also beautiful because we all can publish something. We all can put out something. We all can find those 10 people that really want to listen to us. We all can find those 10 people that we are seeking out to serve. But sometimes there just needs to be gatekeeping to have the proper quality that, and maybe quality and not always working really fast in terms of having many mistakes. May not be quality necessarily, but he pointed out breakthrough studies. There are very few breakthrough studies. This also needs to be checked. This does not necessarily have anything to do with quality, but also ensuring that it is significant. Studies are only getting published in major journals if they are of a certain significance. But yeah, gonna see you next time. Bye bye.